Right now, in China, one story is everywhere. A 41-year-old man collapsed and died on a treadmill. He had tens of millions of followers. A self-made millionaire. A success mentor for an entire generation. But here's the part most people outside China wouldn't expect. This same man once said, "If war breaks out over Taiwan, I'll donate tens of millions." And in another viral post, he went even further. "Japan has always been part of China. We should learn Japanese so we can rule them in the future." This wasn't a fringe voice. This was a mainstream influencer, a teacher, a role model. And now he's dead at 41. So people aren't just mourning him. They're asking, what kind of system produces someone like this? His name was Zhang Xuefeng. And in many ways, he was exactly what Chinese society rewards. Born in a poor rural family in northeast China. No connections. No privilege. He worked his way up, from an unknown exam tutor to one of the most powerful education influencers in the country. Millions of followers. Company. A business empire built on advice. He was living proof of one idea. If you work hard enough, you can escape your class. But that's only half the story. Zhang didn't sell dreams. He sold reality. This major makes money. That major is useless. If you're from a poor family, don't take risks. He openly mocked degrees like journalism and liberal arts. To many Western viewers, that sounds extreme. But in China, it felt refreshing. Because for millions of families, nobody else was saying this out loud. He turned education into something simple, a calculation. To understand him, you have to understand the environment. China's system is defined by scarcity, pressure, and risk intolerance. There are limited elite universities, limited high-paying jobs, and limited paths upward. At the same time, millions of people compete for those same opportunities. And if you come from a working-class family, failure isn't a lesson. It's a dead end. So Zhang gave people a formula. Don't follow your passion. Follow the safest path. Don't explore. Optimize. Don't dream. Calculate. Now here's where things get uncomfortable. Because Zhang wasn't just a career advisor. He was also part of a broader cultural pattern. In a system where individuals feel powerless, where competition is extreme, where life becomes purely strategic, people start looking for something else. A sense of meaning, a sense of pride, a sense of control. And that's where nationalism enters. Think about it. If your personal life feels like a constant struggle, but you're told your country is rising, powerful, unstoppable, that gives you something emotionally satisfying. So you get a strange combination: extreme personal pressure and aggressive national confidence. Zhang embodied both. On one hand, cold, calculated advice about survival. On the other, emotional, almost explosive nationalist rhetoric. That contradiction isn't random. It's structural. His philosophy sounds rational. Maximize return, minimize risk. But it comes at a cost. Students stop choosing what they love and start choosing what they're afraid to lose. Success becomes narrowly defined as money and stability. Everything else, curiosity, creativity, personal meaning, gets pushed aside. And when every decision is optimized, there's no space left for mistakes, for exploration, or even for being human. Zhang himself lived like a machine. Minimal sleep, constant work, intense fitness routines, total discipline, total control, until suddenly he lost control. He collapsed on a treadmill and died at 41. What makes it even more unsettling is that people had warned him. They noticed physical warning signs. His response was simple: "I run half marathons. You can't outrun me." That line now feels like a metaphor for everything. The blend of sophisticated utilitarianism and hyper-competitive involution within Chinese society has indeed spawned figures like Zhang Xuefeng, while simultaneously leaving many people living in a state of extreme anxiety, struggling to find inner peace. Education should not focus solely on what is useful. Rather, it ought to return to classical wisdom, Specifically, the virtues of wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, whether in the Stoic or Aristotelian tradition. Life is a marathon, not a sprint culminating in the single moment of the Gaokao, college entrance exam. Living in the present, pursuing what one truly loves, and maintaining a balance between mind and body are far more important than blindly chasing after high-return tracks. A social environment characterized by both authoritarianism and intense involution tends to reduce education to a mere tool for survival, rather than a means of personal enrichment and elevation. After his death, something unusual happened. People didn't just grieve, they hesitated. For a moment, the system seemed to pause, and a question emerged. If this is what winning looks like, is it worth it? Zhang Xuefeng wasn't an exception. He was a product of extreme competition, economic pressure, and a system that turns education into survival. And when survival becomes everything, people stop asking what they want. They only ask what the safest move is. If your life becomes nothing more than a strategy, and your identity is reduced to a calculation, then maybe the real tragedy isn't dying at 41. It's never really living at all. I am Lino. I have to cover my face and use an AI voice because I often cannot help but express views that the authorities dislike. And I live in a country where even accessing YouTube is banned. If you want to understand the China you don't see, subscribe. See you in the next video.